Shelley here with Sirius Dallas Moon, Venus, hour, Jupiter, day. Venus is 11 degree Cancer, Moon is 22 in Saturn is 11, and the midheaven is 0 degree Taurus, Ascendant 7 degrees Leo, Sun in Gemini. Let's do a fun episode. So I have been watching the futuristic city, Ocean City 2090. And I don't have the rights for this video. This is day and night, Ocean City 2090. 1. And immediately I was interested in the concept, and I was thinking, why 2090 and why this concept? So this is what I will try to do with the astrology. I opened a random date in 2090, and this is going to be 25 July 2090. I'm gonna take a look at the outer planets. So we're gonna have Neptune slowly applying Neptune Magha, and Uranus in Pisces, which means Uranus is something that is industrialized, so something that is a community in the ocean. Uranus is going to be co-present with Ketu and Lilith in this case, but we're going to have Rahu in Virgo and Ketu in Pisces. Pluto is going to be at the end decan of Aries. Pluto is going to trine Neptune. But why Ocean City? And that was particularly, they were pinpointing Japan. Um, so this is a year with as per the outer planets, Aries is still going to be in Taurus, I believe. And Sedna, let me see where Sedna, because Sedna can also denote of something oceanics or ocean and city blending together. And Sedna is now already in Gemini, the sign of cities or twin cities. Asteroids. Now, of course, by 2090, we'll probably have found more asteroids and more outer planets. So we are looking for Sedna. And Aries. Aries. And Sedna. Aries and Sedna. Sedna is already going to be in Cancer. In the middle decan of Cancer. Chiron in Cancer. Sedna can denote that certain technologies. For example, Sedna Taurus could also have been coinciding with Uranus. Could have been the technologies that tell of the fifth vital sign. Sedna here can be also somewhat technological, and she's going to Tau, or she's going to square Pluto. it seems to be more the activity of this Uranus Pisces, definitely the Sedna Cancer. Um, at first, I was expecting like a Neptune Gemini or something, but Neptune is going to be with Magha closer to Rahu. Rahu at around Al Qaid can mean new cities, but also flooded cities. An ocean city can be a remediation for that. Why? Why? Because Ketu in Pisces, we are dematerializing the ocean from the ocean. So where would the water be? Tsunamiing. Okay? Let me say that paraphrase again. Ketu is dematerialization. Ketu in the sign of the ocean, dematerialization of the ocean. So where is the water? In the city. In the city. And Rahu closer to Al Qaeda is about besieging of cities, and it can simply be flood. So preparation as a floating city or an ocean city can be a good remediation, and Uranus Ketu can be we are dematerializing the ocean due to some bombings or technology happening in the ocean. But also we are dematerializing the bombs in the ocean, which um, when Uranus still semi-sextiles Pluto, it can be a sort of denuclearifications of the bombs in the ocean. The rising of the sea level, again, I don't know what would it be like by the end of the century, but those are the things that I can see from this point. Aries is going to be in the middle decan of Taurus. Accentuating the beauty in the exile, but I don't see Aries here playing a big role in a way that is too visible. And Venus is a very fast moving planet. This particular date has a Venus Rahu, but I wouldn't look at the personal planets all that much. So you have Saturn in the sign of the water, which means that there's going to be some big technology to do with the water, and Ketu in sign of the ocean, which means dematerializing the ocean. Rahu around these floating cities as remediation of flood. Uranus, Pluto, trine Neptune can be the power of waves, so we could use the energy or innovation in power to do with waves. Neptune, Leo, it can be also the place where the sun meets the ocean. The some sort of the energy of the waves of the horizon. Magha means that this is going to be that we're going to be thinking as of Magha as that horizon, and it can be monarchies going into expedition, where the kingdom is. Or think about the concept of the promised land is very Neptune Magha. The promise, the kingdom of heaven is very much like the kingdom of heaven. I don't know what is. And then you find out it's just an Epstein Island. um, there is the movie Kingdom of Heaven, but it is more. Let's just take a look at more the religious religion. Active reign, governance, and presence of God over creation. In Christianity is the central theme of Jesus' teaching, representing divine harmony, justice, and salvation. Um, in Baha'i, spiritual enlightenment and unity. Islam, throne of God, that encompasses the heaven and the earth. It looks like use of the occult. Again, you can always, the point of discernment is whether whether it's orgasmic birthing supporting or something that tries to bypass presented itself as asexual or androgyne. Again, I'm not talking about the gods, I'm talking about the people. Because it would try to take the sense of self and sovereignty over the body away from and present it as divine, which is not divine. Um, and that is basically using torture as salvation. Torture is not salvation, um, and in fact, without, here is the thing: if we don't acknowledge rape, meaning if we don't acknowledge that somebody was raped and that rape violates the sense of self, people would seek salvation in a God rather than in abolishing rape. Then they will not persevere with the sense of self, and then it's possible to torture them by inquisition, with them believing that another God will save them than the God that they previously had. Whereas if they are aware that it's the rape that is the violation of the sense of self, so God that rapes is basically an abuser. And anything under rape or torture is an invalid NDA. But without honoring the feminine, people usually don't acknowledge that, and then they get into trajectories of conversion and inquisitions. Um, yeah. And this issue comes about even in 2090, because I was like, okay, let's talk about something else. Boom, Neptune. Maga, Kingdom of Heaven. What is Kingdom of Heaven? Oh,